Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez are not just another celebrity couple. Their romance is one of the most talked about stories in the world, blending scandal, power, love, ambition, and even space exploration. And when you look at where they started and where they are now, it almost feels like a Hollywood script playing out in real life. But this script is not confined to the silver screen. It is unfolding in boardrooms, on yachts, in the skies above. And soon in Venice, Italy, where they are set to marry in one of the most anticipated weddings of the decade, people often ask, how did their love story begin? How did Lauren, a woman once known for her media career and Hollywood connections, suddenly become the partner of one of the richest men in the world? And what does their journey tell us about love, loyalty, and second chances to understand all of this? We need to start with Lauren herself, because long before the tabloids labeled her Jeff Bezos' girlfriend, she had a story of her own that demanded attention. Lauren Wendy Sanchez was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and she grew up around airplanes with parents who ran a flight school. Her early life was not about glitz or glam. It was about hard work and dreaming bigger than the world around her. She had challenges, including struggles with dyslexia, which made school difficult. But instead of holding her back, those obstacles pushed her forward into journalism, where she used her charisma, intelligence, and determination to make a name for herself. By the late 1990s, she was already on screens across America, first as a reporter, then as a rising anchor at stations like KTLA. And shows like Extra audiences noticed her sharp questions, her confidence, her ability to connect. And Hollywood noticed too, which is why she popped up in movies from Fight Club to Ted 2. Even though those cameos were small, they showed just how versatile and connected she was. But her career was not just about entertainment. In 2005, she took on the role of host for So You Think You Can Dance, though she stepped away after one season to focus on her growing family and motherhood. Because behind the TV lights, Lauren was also a devoted mom. Her first child, Nico, came from her relationship with former NFL star Tony Gonzalez, and despite the split, they built one of the friendliest co-parenting relationships in the industry, something that has lasted for decades. Then came her marriage to Patrick Whitesell, one of Hollywood's most powerful agents, the man behind megastars like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Matt Damon, and Ben Affleck. With Patrick, Lauren had two more children, Evan and Ella, and together the family became fixtures in elite Hollywood circles, walking red carpets and attending major events. Yet even with all of this, Lauren was never satisfied staying in one lane. She wanted more. She wanted freedom, and she wanted to fly, literally. She got her helicopter pilot's license in her 40s and went on to launch Black Ops Aviation, one of the first female-owned aerial film companies in America. This move made her unique in a male-dominated industry, and her work quickly caught attention, including in major projects like Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk and the action film Miss Bala. It was this same passion for aviation that would change her life forever, because it put her on a collision course with Jeff Bezos. At first, it was business. Patrick, her husband, actually introduced Lauren to Jeff, suggesting she help with some film work for Blue Origin and documentaries about space. The first sparks reportedly appeared at Amazon's Mars conference in 2018, where both shared their fascination for innovation and the universe above us. And soon after, Bezos began hiring her company for aerial projects, but between helicopter rides and late-night creative sessions, something more powerful began to happen: connection. They were both still married, but they could not deny the pull. And by early 2019, the world found out in the most dramatic way possible through leaked private texts and a scandal that dominated front pages. Suddenly, Lauren Sánchez was not just a pilot, not just an Emmy-winning anchor, not just a mother. She was the woman who had captured the heart of the world's richest man, and the media could not get enough of it. When the story of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez broke in early 2019, it was not revealed through a glamorous red carpet debut or a carefully planned magazine cover. It was revealed through scandal. Their private texts leaked to the National Enquirer and splashed across the world instantly turned their romance into one of the most high-profile affairs in modern celebrity culture. The texts were not salacious. In the way people expected, they spoke about wanting to hold each other, to share coffee, to read the morning paper together. But what shocked people was not the content. It was the context both were still married Jeff to his wife of 25 years, Mackenzie Scott, and Lauren to Patrick Whitesell, a man who was blindsided when the affair became public. Patrick reportedly had no idea how deep Lauren's connection with Bezos had grown, and the revelation hit Hollywood like an earthquake tabloids. Speculated endlessly, some accused Lauren of chasing wealth and status, while others painted Jeff as reckless, risking everything including his empire. Amazon was at its peak, and suddenly its founder was not just the visionary behind Prime and Alexa. He was the man caught in a scandal of love and betrayal. Yet instead of falling apart, Jeff and Lauren leaned into each other. They refused to let the headlines break them apart. Bezos soon announced his divorce from Mackenzie Scott, a woman who had been there since the very first days of Amazon when it was nothing more than an online bookstore running out of a garage. The divorce settlement instantly made her one of the richest women in the world, with $35 billion in Amazon stock, but it also freed Jeff to move forward with Lauren, who was quietly going through her own divorce from Patrick Whitesell. Remarkably, despite the circumstances, Patrick and Lauren managed to keep things civil, focusing on co-parenting their 2 children, while Jeff and Mackenzie also emphasized cooperation for the sake of their 4 kids. Both families chose grace over bitterness, something rare in stories of such magnitude, but grace did not silence curiosity the world wanted to know. What Lauren really meant to Jeff, was this just infatuation, or was she truly his partner? And slowly answers began to appear. The couple started to attend events together, stepping out as a unit from the Golden Globes to Fashion Week. Their chemistry was undeniable, and Jeff publicly praised Lauren, calling her the most generous, big-hearted person he had ever met, saying she inspired him at every level. In return, Lauren offered glimpses into their private life, revealing that their Saturday nights were not always about yachts or galas, but often about something far simpler: dinner with the kids, laughter around the table, and a movie night afterward. It was the blending of 2 families with 7 children in total, and it gave their relationship a sense of normalcy. Even as paparazzi followed their every move, they traveled the world together, from the beaches of St. Bart's to the shores of Italy to the south of France. And as the months passed, it became clear that this was no fleeting fling. It was a partnership that was growing stronger with time. By May 2023, Jeff proved that by dropping to one knee aboard his $500 million super yacht Koru and proposing to Lauren with a ring so massive it left her speechless, the 30-carat diamond worth between $3 and $5 million became a symbol of a love that had survived scandal media scrutiny and endless speculation. Lauren admitted she blacked out when Jeff opened the box, overwhelmed not just by the diamond, but by the meaning behind it. It was not just a ring, it was a promise. A promise that what began in whispers and controversy was now heading toward a wedding the world would not stop watching. After the proposal, the headlines shifted from scandal to celebration. Suddenly, the focus was no longer on leaked texts or past marriages, but on the future of one of the world's most powerful couples, and what that future might look like together. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez did not just represent love. They represented wealth, influence, ambition, and philanthropy, a combination that made them both admired and scrutinized in equal measure. Soon after their engagement, they threw not one, but 2 lavish parties to mark the moment. The first was aboard Jeff's $500 million yacht anchored off the Amalfi coast of Italy, where guests included some of the most famous and influential people alive: Leonardo DiCaprio, Bill Gates, and Paula Hurd all mingled on deck as the Mediterranean sparkled around them, and for many it felt like a glimpse into the private world of the elite, where love is celebrated with champagne sunsets and mega yachts. The second engagement party was held in Los Angeles, just as star-studded with names like Oprah Winfrey, Salma Hayek, Barbara Streisand, Robert Pattinson, and Suki Waterhouse. In attendance, Jewel performed a heartfelt set, adding even more emotion to the evening. These events were not just parties. They were statements. They declared to the world that Jeff and Lauren were no longer defined by controversy. They were defined by commitment. And yet, even as the glamour dazzled, there was more beneath the surface, because their life together has not been just about fashion galas and yacht trips. It has also been about giving back. Jeff launched the Bezos Earth Fund, a $10 billion initiative to fight climate change, and Lauren was not just by his side, she was vice chair, helping to steer one of the most ambitious philanthropic efforts in history. Together, they pledged hundreds of millions to causes like rebuilding Maui after the devastating wildfires and supporting organizations fighting homelessness. They created the Courage and Civility Award, a $100 million grant for leaders who use kindness and inspiration rather than conflict, and winners like Dolly Parton and Eva Longoria used those funds to direct support where it was needed. Most Lauren herself has been deeply involved with This is About Humanity, supporting families separated at the U.S.-Mexico border, often involving her children in the efforts teaching them that privilege means responsibility and that love means action. She also opened up about her struggles with dyslexia as a child, sharing how a single teacher's encouragement changed the way she saw herself from someone who thought she was dumb to someone who realized she was simply wired differently. It was that resilience that later inspired her to write a children's book, The Fly Who Flew to Space, a story about courage, curiosity, and chasing the impossible, inspired by her own journey and Jeff's passion for space. This connection to space was not just symbolic. Lauren prepared to lead an all-female mission aboard a Blue Origin rocket, proving once again that she was not content to stand beside Jeff. She was determined to soar alongside him. And while the mission drew backlash, it also sent a clear message that women belonged in every orbit, whether in aviation, in space, or in the most exclusive rooms on Earth. And now, as they prepare to marry, that message continues to echo. Lauren has said that wedding planning is far more nerve-wracking than space flight itself, but also more exciting, because this is not just about one day, it is about forever marrying Jeff. She says means marrying the man of her dreams, a man who loves her children and makes her feel like they are building something together, not just for themselves, but for the world. Their love story is no longer about scandal, it is about legacy, and the wedding ahead promises to be the crown jewel of that story. The question everyone is asking now is, what will the wedding of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez actually look like? Because when the world's richest man and one of Hollywood's most glamorous women tie the knot, it is never going to be small or quiet. Reports say the celebration will take place in Venice, Italy at the end of June 2025. And if you know Venice, you know why it is the perfect backdrop: timeless beauty, the Grand Canal, the history of centuries, and the romance that floats on every gondola ride. Insiders reveal that multiple venues have been reserved for the multi-day affair, one of them being the opulent Grand Canal Suite at the Amen Venice Hotel, famous for its 16th century decor, marble halls, and exclusivity, the same place where George and Amal Clooney once exchanged vows with other guests. Will reportedly stay at the Gritty Palace, another historic gem, with views of the water so breathtaking they look like paintings. Yet whispers say the ceremony itself might even unfold aboard Korujev's $500 million mega yacht anchored in the Venetian lagoon. Imagine vows exchanged on deck, surrounded by the sea with palaces as the backdrop. It is the kind of vision that only money and power can create. And yet, for all the glamour, the wedding is also about the people expected to attend. The guest list reads like a cross between Hollywood royalty and global power brokers. Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner, and Queen Rania of Jordan are all said to be invited, alongside fashion icon Diane von Furstenberg and media titan Barry Diller. Political names have surfaced too. Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner reportedly received invitations, as did Joshua Kushner and Karlie Kloss, and there are even rumors swirling that former President Donald Trump could make an appearance, though that remains unconfirmed. Around 250 guests are expected, making it intimate by billionaire standards but massive by normal ones. And what about the dress? Sources whisper that Lauren will wear a custom Oscar de la Renta gown, possibly styled under the watchful eye of Anna Wintour herself, a look meant to balance timeless elegance with modern power, a look that says she is not just marrying the richest man in the world, she is standing beside him as his equal. And while earlier reports claimed Lady Gaga and Elton John had been booked to perform, those rumors have since been walked back, though, with Bezos and Sanchez. Anything is possible, whether it is Gaga belting by the piano or a surprise serenade from another global star. One thing is certain: the wedding will be unforgettable, and it will not just be about the glamour or the star power. It will be about the moment when two people who met through helicopters, who survived scandal, who blended families, and who now share a vision for space, Earth, and philanthropy. finally say I do under the Venetian sky. And if the engagement parties are any sign of what is to come, then this wedding is not going to be just a celebration. It is going to be a spectacle. A union watched by the world and remembered for decades. The anticipation surrounding the wedding of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez is unlike anything we have seen in years, because this is not just a wedding. It is a cultural moment, a convergence of wealth, power, romance, and legacy. And while many celebrity weddings come and go, this one feels different. It is being described as the wedding of the decade, and the choice of Venice, Italy, as the destination only adds to the mystique. Venice is a city where history whispers from every canal, where palaces rise from the water like something out of a dream, and where love has been celebrated for centuries. The gondolas drifting under bridges, the golden light reflecting off the canals, the hidden courtyards where secrets and promises have been shared. For generations, it is no accident that Jeff and Lauren chose this city to mark their forever insiders. Say the couple wanted a place that felt timeless, a place where old-world romance met modern extravagance, and Venice is exactly that, reports. Confirmed that the Am in Venice Hotel will play a starring role in the festivities. This hotel is no ordinary hotel. It is a 16th century palazzo that once hosted nobility. Its Grand Canal suite drips with history from frescoed ceilings to ornate chandeliers, and it has already proven itself as a stage for love because George and Amal Clooney tied the knot here nearly a decade ago. The gritty palace, another venue being reserved for guests, is equally legendary with views of the Grand Canal. So breathtaking they seem almost unreal. The fact that both of these places are in play shows just how much care and detail is being poured into every aspect of this wedding. But the buzz does not stop there. Some whispers suggest that the centerpiece of the celebration may unfold not on land, but on water aboard Koru Jeff's $500 million mega yacht, a sailing masterpiece that has already turned heads around the world with its towering masts, custom interiors, and its very symbolism. Koru means new beginnings, and if Jeff and Lauren exchange vows on its deck, it will be a metaphor brought to life, two people starting fresh, two lives merging while floating on waters that have carried history for centuries. Can you imagine the visuals? Gondolas gliding nearby, Venetian palaces glistening in the background, and the richest man in the world saying "I do" under the open sky of Italy? Now add to that the guest list, and you have a gathering that rivals the Oscars, mixed with the Met Gala and sprinkled with world leaders, fashion royalty, and billionaires, Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner, bringing reality television's first family into the fold, Queen Rania of Jordan adding true global royalty, Diane von Furstenberg, a legend in fashion who symbolizes female empowerment, Barry Diller, a titan of media and business, and then, of course, the political names Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner reportedly on the list, along with Joshua Kushner and Karlie Kloss, who represent a bridge between politics, fashion, and venture capital. The whispers about former President Donald Trump possibly attending only add fuel to the speculation machine. Because if true, this would be one of the most unusual mixes of people in one place in recent memory. Now let's talk fashion, because every great wedding has its moment, and all eyes are on Lauren Sánchez. What will she wear? Reports point strongly toward a custom Oscar de la Renta gown designed exclusively for her with possible input from Anna Wintour herself. Imagine a dress that blends modern elegance with classic couture, something powerful yet romantic. A gown that tells the story of a woman who has lived many lives, journalist, anchor, mother, pilot, entrepreneur, and now bride, too. The richest man in the world. It will not just be a dress. It will be a statement, a message to the world that Lauren Sánchez is not simply Jeff Bezos' plus one, she is his equal, his partner, and the visual embodiment of that will be the gown she walks down the aisle. And then, of course, there are the whispers about performances. Early reports teased Lady Gaga and Elton John being booked to perform, though those claims have since been dialed back. But with Jeff and Lauren, nothing is impossible. They move in circles where a surprise set from Gaga could be arranged overnight, or where Elton might sit at a piano on Koru and sing as they dance their first dance. This is the level they live on, where rumors sound like reality, and reality often outshines imagination. Imagine a night where fashion icons, billionaires, royals, and superstars are all gathered together celebrating the union of two people who began with a scandal and transformed it into a partnership that has outlasted the gossip columns and now moves towards cementing itself in history. The symbolism of this wedding cannot be overlooked. It is not just about love. It is about legacy. It is about blending families, blending worlds, and showing that despite the scrutiny, they endured, they have emerged stronger. Jeff once said, "Lauren is the most generous, big-hearted person he has ever met, and those who know her say this wedding will reflect exactly that. It will be grand. Yes, but it will also be personal, filled with family. Moments their 7 children between them will be central to the celebration. Not accessories, but anchors. Because in the end, beyond the wealth, beyond the yachts, beyond the luxury, this marriage is also about creating a family unit and cementing a future together. And yet we cannot deny the spectacle, the sheer star power that will come with it. Venice has seen centuries of love stories, but this one, with its mix of tabloids and tenderness, with its blend of money and meaning with its stage, set on canals and yachts, will be remembered long after the last guest leaves, long after the lights dim, and long after the gossip fades. This is not just a wedding, it is a coronation of a power couple stepping into the next chapter of their empire. When you strip away the diamonds, the yachts, the billion-dollar backdrops, and the celebrity guest lists, what remains at the heart of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez's wedding is a story about legacy, about what comes next for a man who built one of the most powerful companies in history and a woman who refused to be defined by anyone but herself. This marriage is not just about two people. It is about the future of an empire, because with Jeff stepping further from Amazon's day-to-day operations and focusing on Blue Origin philanthropy and new ventures, Lauren is now more than just his partner. She is his co-architect, the vice chair of the Bezos Earth Fund, the woman who stands beside him as he directs billions toward climate change solutions and global initiatives, and the voice reminding him that their wealth carries responsibility together. They are shaping a narrative that is bigger than love. It is about how power can be used to influence the planet, how legacy can be cemented not just through business, but through generosity and vision. And this is why their wedding matters. It is not just vows. It is a declaration of a new phase of their lives. The empire Jeff created with Mackenzie Scott in the early days has grown into something untouchable. But with Lauren, the empire takes on a new tone, a new face, more glamorous, more public, more intertwined with Hollywood and global celebrity. Some will say Lauren is marrying into wealth. Others will argue Jeff has found his true match, someone who flies helicopters, writes children's books, supports humanitarian causes, and dares to dream of space alongside him. Either way, their union reshapes how people see them as a couple. It cements Lauren as more than a tabloid. Headline, she becomes part of Jeff's story forever, and it reframes Jeff from being just a billionaire CEO to being part of a love story that has survived scandal scrutiny and endless speculation. Think about it. Their romance began with whispers, turned into a tabloid frenzy, and is now culminating in one of the most anticipated weddings in recent history. That arc alone ensures they will always remain subjects of fascination. And after Venice, once the final toast is made and the lights dim, the question will become, what next? Will Jeff and Lauren retreat into quieter family life, blending their 7 children into a unit defined by normalcy? Or will they lean even further into the spotlight, using their combined power to shape culture, policy, and even the future of space exploration? Insiders believe Lauren's role will only grow more visible. She has already shown she is not afraid to be on stage, not afraid to lead missions, not afraid to speak her truth about dyslexia, about her journey, about her ambitions. And with Jeff by her side, she will likely become one of the most influential women in the world, a woman who can walk from a Hollywood red carpet to a space capsule without missing a step. And Jeff himself will be defined by this love story as much as his legacy with Amazon, because history will remember not only what he built, but who he built his future with. And for all the speculation, for all the rumors about motives and power plays, the truth is that only Jeff and Lauren know the full reality of their bond. And maybe that is why people cannot look away, because This story is not just about them. It is about the questions it sparks about love after loss, about second chances, about ambition and vulnerability colliding in one couple. And as they prepare to walk down the aisle in Venice, they are not just making promises to each other. They are making a statement to the world that scandal can evolve into stability. That power can be matched with partnership, and that sometimes even the richest man alive still believes in the simple dream of finding the one person who makes forever feel possible.
This video covers legal allegations in a news context. All claims are from official filings and no guilt is implied until proven in court, please. Keep all discussions respectful. Allegations are not facts until proven in court.